I did enjoy Druski, but I'm okay if I don't see him host there again.
All right, so I'm hearing there's a lot of mixed feelings about Druski hosting the BET Awards. I kind of get the vibe it's a young versus old thing. I think some of the younger people, they enjoy Druski hosting, but I think some of the seasoned people who are used to a more professional host, they didn't like it. So let's see what the Joe Budden podcast has to say about this. You better like the video. You better subscribe. Let's get it.
Yeah, so I'm officially at the age where, like, a lot of the acts, I guess, go like, who the fuck is that?
Okay.
Because I might know their name and their voice, but I don't necessarily know their face right away.
Okay.
So I had a couple moments where I was like, I feel like the old head in there with some of the younger acts, but the performances were good. I thought Druski did a great job.
I thought so too.
I enjoyed it.
I love Druski. It was his first go.
Hosting is different.
It is.
What's
His skits weren't that funny to me. They didn't land like his skits usually do in internet format, I guess I would say.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I think all of the
Yeah, let's stay
respectfully,
there.
because I love Druski.
Listen, we absolutely love Druski. That's my prize picks brother. He's on his way. He's already there, but he's on his way to do even more amazing things.
Yes.
And I'm super happy that he got that opportunity.
Same.
It did feel good to see a fresh face. It felt good for BET to acknowledge internet lore, and I guess we'll talk about that later on. But Druski was like BET saluting not just Druski, but the digital era
Internet
and the
culture.
internet and
Internet
what's going on.
culture.
So
Showing
I
that they're paying
absolutely
attention.
love that. But the awards, this was one of those times where you see the difference in internet and
Hosting is different.
It is.
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
And this was
like,
live,
and,
right?
and you know what gave that away for me? Like when Keke Palmer made her joke about, hey, I should host this. Why they even asking you?
And they all stood up and clapped for her?
Yeah, but when she took the mic, she sounded like a host.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
That's them 10,000 hours.
Yes, exactly. Shout out to her. And I did enjoy Druski, but I'm okay if I don't see him host there again.
I think he could.
No, I think he could get
do
it
it.
again. I think he'll go home, watch film.
Fine-tune it.
Yeah, watch film, see the areas that you could improve, see the areas where you might have missed.
And I wish they just would have came up with new skits.
New shit.
That's what I didn't like.
That's the thing for me. He kind of rehashed the same skits that we
Mm-hmm.
already died laughing at.
And
so
I'm
they're
not
not
mad-
going to hit the same exact way again.
I
I'm
think
not
he would
mad
be a
at a
great
nigga.
co-host with someone like Keke. Maybe is like the main MC kinda, and then he's the comedic relief.
Yeah,
Like,
She
yeah.
put her
kind of
bid in,
vibe.
and she put her bid in now. Like they saying she
And
got
they
it
stamped
sold
it.
up for next year.
I mean, they kind of, the crowd
But-
kind of got behind her.
Do you think that the crowd wasn't really receptive to some of the stuff? Do you think that it's because they really didn't identify who? Well, they know who's going to be in the audience, but do you think that one, that they saw it already, or two, it just wasn't the
saw it.
time and the moment?
That crowd have seen the skits.
Yeah, I'm saying, but
You know
which
what I'm
one do
saying?
you think you lean on? Like it wasn't a time because it's a time and place to do.
I don't
certain
think
type of
everybody's
content.
seen them skits.
I was about to say that too. I think
I think a lot of them, like again, some of them older in there. Everybody ain't
Yeah,
watched them
a lot of
skits and
people.
shit.
Like, I hadn't seen
saw,
some of
when he flew
the
in.
rapper
It was
joint.
I saw their faces.
Yeah, them
Niggas
niggas like, what the fuck is this? And a lot of people didn't like that church.
Yeah.
Making fun of the church shit. So you led with that.
Yeah, that ain't the
It
right
rubbed
crowd
a
for
couple
that.
people the wrong way. You can see it in their faces. They was like, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
Black people are
They don't play when it
uber,
come to church.
uber
I know.
religious.
Yes,
a lot
yes.
of them
They
don't
don't play
play
about that church.
Yeah, they look at that shit as blasphemous. And
I
then
get it.
To Mark's point, me, you know, I ain't know a bunch of them motherfuckers. I'm like, who the fuck? So some of those people might not necessarily identify with Druski because, to Joe's point, he is an internet star,
Right.
more so than a network star.
Right.
He's an internet star. A lot of older people don't really play the net like that. You get what I'm saying?
Fair.
So they not.
And,
got Facebook.
and again, I want to make it clear, I'm not really putting it on Druski that he did the same skits because it's
more of a writer
It's a
production
famous
thing.
corporate. Hey, we see what you did was hot online. Come do
But
it
now we
over
gonna
here in
amplify
front
it.
of more
We
eyes.
gonna amplify it.
Exactly. But even like when he did the walk down the aisle before he got to Keke Palmer, when he was talking to Ray J, like I think that's hilarious.
I thought that was great.
because
Yeah, that was funny.
Ray J, you lied to us, and I've heard Druski say that to him before. But in a room full of stars, I don't really give a fuck about Ray J lying to me. Not with the host. The host is there to pinpoint the heads in here. Ray J not even really dressed for this shit. He got a black t-shirt on.
t-shirt on.
It's just not. It's just not.
That's a good point. I mean, the crowd. I separate the skits from his hosting, right? And I was like, I didn't love all the skits, but I thought in terms of like his crowd work, his moving, he looked comfortable, but he could get better. But I thought he did a good job. Maybe
his energy
great.
was on a million.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
His energy was on a million. It carried it for me. I didn't love the whole Ice Cube. That didn't
It didn't hit right.
That I thought wasn't
that
funny.
didn't connect.
It didn't hit
And not because we're Hovengers. I just didn't think it was that funny.
It didn't hit.
It didn't connect.
Sometimes you miss. That just did not hit.
Yeah, and
And
Ice Cube
I'm
didn't
so
seem fully
old.
comfortable
I
with
ain't even know that he was doing Hove. I thought he was doing fucking Ren or one of the
Eazy-E
other
or one of
niggas.
them?
Yeah. For real.
It did.
Until he kept saying it's
That's funny as shit. But he was doing Ren.
No,
Yo, we old as shit. No, it's
Ice
not
Cube
crazy. It's just like I feel you.
Like Ice Cube was there. You thinking that he emulating a Jerry curl until it hit you that he talking about Jay-Z?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Joe.
That one missed.
I'll peep that right.
and doing that next to Ice Cube.
that's what I didn't get.
It just didn't make sense.
Ice Cube ain't never.
Don't give a
that
fuck
that
about
ain't,
none of
yeah,
that.
that ain't that.
And if you see Ice Cube anywhere as of late, he don't really be on no jokey joke shit. Like he be super serious.
Never really been on jokey.
So
jokes.
it's like
ain't
you
on
coming
that.
out there
Even back
doing
in
that
the day,
with
he
him.
wasn't on.
He's
jokey
the straight
joke.
man on Friday, really.
Like
Yeah,
he
you
wasn't
coming out there
playing.
doing that next to him, it just
Yeah, I don't think he was joking when he said, all right, you can keep it up here. They gonna blackball you. They gonna
get canceled. Keep
I don't
some
think that
advice.
was Ice Cube joking.
Nah.
No, he wasn't.
The fucking I did laugh at some of that shit the choir was singing back there. But again,
Yeah.
I've seen
we saw
that.
the choir
back.
skit though.
Yeah, the BBL rapper dude. But shout out to Druski, amazing opportunity. I'm sure there's a million more at your door.
out to Druski. For sure.
And it was just a room full of beautiful black people.
yes,
where every time they kind of showed
Yes.
the drone shot of the crowd, I was dreading coming to work. I'm like, how am I gonna come in here and say anything about this? This is just beautiful black shit. They ain't gonna be me to come in here
Wait,
and,
is this
and try to throw rain on the parade.
Is there
That's what I said,
is
too.
there something to say?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, real quick, we've been complaining about. I guess it was the hip hop. The hip hop and the BET Awards are two different things.
Very different.
Yeah. So let me say that. But I felt like BET, as far as production wise, they did a great job.
They did.
They did.
They
I
always
thought-
do.
I thought it was put together well. I thought
For sure.
The energy was wonderful. I thought the
Performances
support
were
was
good.
I think the
People
performances
showed up.
was dope. I think
People
it was
showed
dope.
up. I like
Yeah,
that.
so
That's
what-
the important part.
what
What
would
we
be-
said. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I ain't
No,
gonna cut you
I
off.
want to know some of the critiques because I left there satisfied. Like, oh, this was nice. This was real good. Now maybe I'm looking at it from a different lens than how you guys.
I
look
have
at it.
very small critiques
Bitch.
that are that are significant to me, but they're not like they might feel nitpicky.
Okay.
All right. One is, I think all award shows had this problem, but I find the BET Awards has this problem more. The banter between hosts, between presenters, is often awkward and weird, and it feels like some of them just don't read before they get there. Now, sometimes it happens. It's very clear. Ice Cube, for example, he did a great job with the first thing he presented. The second thing, he was very clearly filling in for somebody when he was reading the Lauryn Hill thing. Like he had never seen that before. That's not his fault. So that's the thing where like you can't do nothing about that. That's an award show. He was a G for even stepping in. But some of the banter I thought just wasn't. If you're going to script it, it should be funny. And if you're not going to script it, then let it be loose. And it felt like it was like it was scripted and not funny sometimes. I didn't love that.
All right, Mark opened the door right there, so I'm gonna follow.
Janet?
I'm gonna follow up.
I think it's scripted.
No, I'm telling you,
It's scripted.
It's scripted.
The banter.
Yes, I've been to a lot of these shows.
it's
You can
scripted.
see it on the property.
Really?
Yeah.
You can see them reading the script.
Well, if that's the case, I agree with you because that shit seemed like it was awkward and it's
That's my
like
point.
it wasn't real. I thought it wasn't scripted.
Is it
And there's a
possible that
rehearsal the
it's-
day
is it-
before.
I was going to ask you. Oh, you just answered my question.
I'm sorry, but good.
No,
I was going to say, is it possible that it's scripted, but the person reading the script is new to them?
And that's the point.
That's what it felt like.
That's a production question. Like, if I'm presenting, I should be there the day before, or I should be really good at reading. Or I should be. There has to be something. You shouldn't first read it online. You shouldn't be reading it in front of
I agree.
10 million people.
That's what that shit felt like.
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but kind of to Mark's point, some of the presenters, and BET does this more than anybody. The presenters they about to come out got a show coming somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
They
let you get your
got-
promo off.
And they come out there as the show trio or duo and be like, all right, this fall at 9 o'clock, what do you think, Trev? What's the name of our show? And it's just like, hey, BT, I damn near didn't give a fuck about y'all being on.
He there about two dads in a bed.
I don't care what the fuck Cole from Martin is, and he looked great.
He looked great, by the way.
He looked
That nigga-
fantastic.
That nigga ain't aging.
He looked amazing
He not
up
aging.
there. But guess who is not gonna watch the new Cole show. And that was my man. It was D-Ray up there. That D-Ray's family, friend of the show. I'm not watching none of this shit. I'm sorry. Save it.
I don't mind those commercials as much as the blatant. Like, I wish they could find a cooler way to do the corporate sponsors.
They're nasty.
Like,
it's like we see Verizon.
Rest in peace, Sonny Rollins, presented by Doritos. It's crazy to me. Like,
that's exactly how it was.
They could do that shit a little bit smoother.
And because of that, because of them doing what you said, I paid attention to that shit so much more. At some point in the broadcast, I'm like, yo, these niggas is getting all the money. Hyundai, Doritos,
Verizon, Dub.
Miami was like, Dub.
They was out of here.
Yeah.
Shit went
They
off.
shot a liquor commercial mid-show and took a shot.
Yeah.
When Kiki went up there, she said, and Verizon, we gonna get the Verizon is right there. We saying it. I'm like, God damn.
That's what I said. It was too much. It was like Verizon's here. Then we go say the Living Legend Award presented by Verizon with Verizon already sitting there. Like, we get it, Verizon. Like, it's too heavy-handed.
All right, I'm gonna say some more shit that I shouldn't say.
I'm right. I got your back, just like with the mayor.
I wish they'd stop asking Martin to do shit.
Yo, thank you. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. As a black person, with one of our better black actors and comedians,
Just
come
stop.
on, yo.
Just stop. Yo.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah.
Am I off?
No.
No.
When I
I
asked
don't
y'all
wanna
when I
see-
walked in, remember?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, is it me or what's up? Something's.
Why he can't
yo.
just why they can't just let him sit down, chill, bring him some water, something like.
Even if you show him on the
shout him
camera.
out.
Yeah, just shout when you do your Who's in the Building. Oh, we got the Legend Martin in the building. Like something. You don't have to have him on stage like that. Bro.
Yeah, because
I don't like to see that.
I don't like
I'm not
hearing
gonna
him
hold you.
talk like that. I don't like seeing him. He just doesn't look like his best self, and he's such a legend. We love him so much. Yeah.
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 That whole bit didn't. It felt off.
Yeah, it's awkward. That's what I mean. That's the thing. I love the show, but I just think sometimes, the dialogue, the bit, they just miss the mark a little bit sometimes, and they make me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's what it is. They make me uncomfortable when I'm watching them.
Overall, I did enjoy the show a lot.
I did too.
We're a long way from overall.
I know.
We ain't get to the tribute.
I don't like shitting on shit and then not like
I enjoyed
recognizing that it was a good show.
Yeah.
It was a good show.
Can I ask a question?
Everything I got is a nitpick.
How many awards did they give out?
4, 5.
That was my whole thing. I'm like, who's with like?
I can tell you.
It wasn't many.
It was not.
But that's the case with most
why-
major award shows.
But it wouldn't be.
Yeah, but at least like even with the Grammys, they'll do the pre-show. They'll let you know who won. Yes, like I didn't know who.
It's no time to give out awards when you're counting money.
That's
Like, what are you talking about? This is not really an award show. We in the back.
It's a concert. Count all the money.
Yeah. Awards.
It's a concert.
I was surprised every time an award came out. I was like, oh shit.
All right, so this was one of those really long segments, and I just try to give y'all a little bit of their overall opinion of the award show, but go check it out on the Patreon and wherever podcasts are at, so y'all can get into detail about what they thought about the full awards. But I'll say this. I don't like the fact that Druski was rehashing these skits at the award show, and it reminded me of somebody who was explaining to me about that music scene in Sinners, where they're talking about all the generations of music, and it's a scene that I hated from that movie, but somebody said, well, you have to do it so the Caucasian people, so the white people know about this. You gotta teach them something. And I guess that's the vibe with these skits, is like, yeah, you might have seen these skits, but some older people didn't see it, and it's gonna be this new viewership and this new audience that it's gonna see these skits for the first time. But at the end of the day, Druski is huge. I don't know if he's crossed over yet. Like, be honest with me. Do y'all feel like Druski is becoming almost like a Kevin Hart, white people's favorite internet celebrity? I really don't see that. I think his niche is still primarily in the black market. And I feel like everybody who wanted to see those skits and who needed to see them, they already saw them. And once again, like somebody said on the pod, that's not his fault. That's production's fault. That's whoever gave him this idea. And I'm sure in a situation like this, he probably can't even protest. He probably can't even say, I think that's corny. I think that's whack. They like, hey, shut up, take this check, put that Gucci suit on. put that Gucci suit on, make sure your curls is blonde, and get out there. That's another thing too. Druski got to get a new haircut. You got to let go of the Odell Beckham. I don't even think Odell doing that no more. You know what I mean? Odell ain't doing the blonde shit no more. Druski, you got to let it go, bro. I get it. You supposed to be Mr. Big and chubby and sexy, and you was messing with Ruby Rose and all of that other stuff. It's time for a new haircut, bro. Like, I don't see, and see, that's the thing. That's his signature hairstyle. You know what I mean? Like, don't become one of those people, Druski, where it's like everything you do is like a catchphrase. The hairstyle is a catchphrase. The skits are a catchphrase. Remember this? That's when it gets corny. And I do want to see Druski cross over, but see, I hate to say, because do y'all feel like Kevin Hart abandoned his black audience when he kind of crossed over and got into making these movies? Because I struggle with saying that, but essentially I guess that's what he did. And my thing is, Druski, you know, just, I'm not going to even say like keep a part of your soul, but keep the part of you that your people loved as you continue to get bigger. Okay? Don't just become some corporate sellout who's, you know, gonna sell all of this stuff you gave us, and now you gonna hoe it out for money. And that's how it felt. You know, now they paying me for these skits, so you gonna get them again. And also, I like fresh stuff. I think a lot of y'all would agree. He's creative enough to have come up with some new stuff. And I think some people thought it was funny because, like I said in the beginning, I feel like this is an age thing. I think a lot of the younger people, they enjoyed Druski. They thought it was funny. But I think a lot of the older people, they wasn't rocking with it. Just like the whole church thing. I feel like it's a lot of people who still upset about that. So him doing like the live church skit at the BET Awards, I'm sure that rubbed some people the wrong way. It's not that serious to me. But at the same time, I'll still say, okay, you know, you did the church thing, give me something fresh. But overall, I don't want to say he shouldn't host again, but I agree with, I think it was Ish who said, go back to the drawing board, figure out where you might have went wrong and get better for next time. And I think there'll be another opportunity for him to host somewhere down the line. And maybe this might be what the new hosting thing looks like, right? This might be what we need to become accustomed to from hosts from now on. These internet celebrities, they're going to be incorporated into this traditional celebrity world. We saw it with Kai Cenat popping up everywhere. Now we're seeing it with Druski. And, you know, it might just be signs of things to come. So y'all tell me what y'all thought about the award show. Also, yeah, Kiki, she should do it. And Kiki is it's not even just that. Keke Palmer is very well spoken. She has a lot of good energy, positive. She might not be my favorite celebrity, but she can talk. You can understand her, and she can control a room. So yeah, she should be able to host the BET Awards next year. I wouldn't mind giving her a shot at it too. You done gave everybody else in the world a shot at it. Hell, I'll even say this. Just because I saw her the other day, I wouldn't mind if maybe a year or two you let Monique come back and host again. You know? So y'all tell me what y'all thought about the 2026 BET Awards. Make sure you like the video and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.